Have you ever had one of those, really seamless retail experiences?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you ordered something online, picked it up like instantly in store, or you got a promotion that was so perfect it felt like they knew you.
Hmm.
Those moments where it all just works. Have you ever sort of stopped and wondered, like, what's the secret sauce? What makes that actually happen?
Yeah, what's behind the curtain?
Exactly. So today, we're diving deep into that, into the complex technological backbone supporting this whole modern retail thing.
Right.
We're talking about the invisible systems, the clever data flows, the architecture that powers everything from like your local corner shop to huge global
They're
marketplaces.
pretty vast.
It is. And our map for this journey comes from a really detailed SAP Reference Architecture document by Jacques Maeda. It's a fascinating look under the hood.
It really is.
So our mission today is to navigate this pretty intricate landscape. We want to reveal how businesses are figuring out where to put their tech money, how they get agile, how they use data to create those unified immersive experiences for you, the customer.
Hmm.
We're going to pull out the most important bits, the nuggets of knowledge, help you quickly get the what and the why behind these retail transformations, without getting totally bogged down in jargon or feeling like you're reading a manual.
And what's key here, I think, is that we're looking at a foundational view. This deep dive, it's based on public information, industry frameworks, common practices you see across retail.
Right.
So we're offering general knowledge, insights into how these systems are typically put together, how they're deployed, but without spilling any specific company secrets. It's about understanding the universal principles underneath it all.
Okay, let's start unpacking this then. Retailers are clearly facing some huge questions right now.
Monumental, yeah.
How do they prioritize their tech investments for those immersive experiences you mentioned? How do they build tech ecosystems that let them be, agile when the market shifts like crazy?
Constantly changing.
And maybe the biggest one, how do they get ready for stuff like AI and even use tech for the important ESG goals, environmental, social, corporate governance?
Yeah.
These aren't just like abstract ideas, are they? They're the core challenges probably keeping retail execs up at night.
Oh, absolutely they are. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, a lot of these questions circle around achieving what we call unified commerce,
Okay.
which basically means bringing all the channels together seamlessly, online, in-store, mobile, all of it.
Right.
And for merchandising, AI is playing this, well, almost transformative role now.
How so?
It's automating and optimizing just about everything, from initial planning to really complex decision-making. And that directly impacts how prices get set, how promotions are run.
Okay.
Think about managing assortments, the mix of products, or planograms that's the exact layout on the shelves,
Ah, right.
and inventory across all the places customers interact. The key insight, really, is that data and AI aren't just supporting merchandising anymore. They're fundamentally reshaping how it's done, driving efficiency, profitability.
So it's not just about what's on the shelf, but how it gets there, the price, how it looks.
Exactly.
And speaking of shelves, what about the physical store? Are they still relevant with everything going digital? What's the big tech shift there?
Oh, they're more relevant than ever, but their role is definitely evolving. Store trends show this big push towards digitalizing the physical space.
Sure.
Tech investments are flowing in to support unified commerce operations right there, in the aisles.
Like what kind of things?
Well, strategies for unified commerce fulfillment, like using stores as mini distribution centers.
Ah, click and collect or ship from store.
Precisely. Using their existing inventory to cut costs and delivery times, it fundamentally changes the store from just a place to sell stuff
Right.
to a strategic asset for the whole business.
Yeah.
Often it becomes like a local hub for online orders, too.
That makes total sense. But then you've got the people working in those stores. What's the balance there between, the human touch and automation? Is it one or the other?
That's a really critical balancing act retailers are trying to nail. How do you get that right mix of human workforce and automation?
Yeah.
The end goal isn't really to replace people. It's more about delivering a superior associate experience, which then becomes a competitive advantage.
How does that work?
Imagine equipping associates with real-time data, with analytics on a tablet or device, helping them be more efficient, better informed.
So they can help customers better.
Exactly. Better able to serve customers, create those seamless moments. Technology in this scenario really enhances the human element, doesn't diminish it.
Okay, so it sounds like the whole retail landscape is incredibly dynamic, always shifting. The document points out, too, critical uncertainties that are really shaping the future. What are those?
Yeah, the first one is consumer behavior,
Mm.
which exists on this spectrum, right? From strong consumerism wanting more stuff, all the way to anti-consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
People may be leaning more towards sustainability, minimalism, or even experiences over products.
Okay, that's one. What's the second?
The second is the huge range of service and execution options that retailers can offer. This goes from totally digital-only experiences at one end.
Like an online pure play.
Exactly. To physical only.
Yeah.
At the other extreme. And then every possible hybrid model you can think of in between. The really interesting question is where different customer groups will land along those spectrums.
Oh. So the mix of those two factors, consumer attitudes and how retailers operate, that must create some pretty wild future scenarios.
It does.
How do retailers actually plan for that kind of unpredictability? Does it lead to weird strategies, or is it more about hedging bets?
It definitely creates a challenging environment. The interplay between those two factors, consumer behavior and retailer options, it creates these global scenarios that really influence executive decisions. Retail CIOs, they use these scenarios, plus other tools like trend analysis, to try and manage all the market volatility. Things caused by bankruptcies, government policy shifts, inflation, social media influence, environmental worries.
All that stuff.
Yeah. It's less about predicting one single future and more about building resilience for multiple possible futures, making sure they don't get caught totally flat-footed.
Right, being prepared. That proactive approach makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about the building blocks, the foundations that make all this possible. The document mentions the SAP Reference Business Architecture. What's that based on, and why does using a framework like that even matter?
Good question. It's rooted in something called SAP Signavio Process Explorer, and it aligns with established industry frameworks like the APQC Process Classification Framework and the SAP Business Capability Model.
Okay, so standard stuff.
Exactly. And it also pulls in what they call industry value accelerators from partners like Fujitsu and Capgemini.
Yeah.
The key insight here is that leading retail tech isn't built in isolation. It leverages these established cross-industry frameworks.
Why is that important?
It ensures things like scalability, following best practices, having a common language for innovation. It stops companies from constantly reinventing the wheel every time they add a new system. It's like building on a proven blueprint.
Got it. So you have the blueprint. How does tech then actually support the physical movement of goods, the core of retail logistics?
Technology is absolutely central there, especially when you involve third-party warehouses. Systems like SAP S/4HANA Cloud, Public Edition, they let retailers seamlessly manage warehousing, even with outside providers.
Okay.
And think about data exchange. Instead of paper invoices flying around.
Yeah, nightmare.
Right. It's often handled by architecting EDI, that's electronic data interchange, using something called SAP iDocs. Think of it like so when a supplier sends, say, a price list that's an EDIFACT PRICAT workflow in retail jargon, it arrives at the retailer system in a perfectly readable, machine-friendly format. No errors. Speeds things up massively.
So that gets the product moving efficiently. Now let's pivot to the customer side of things. Once the product's nicely stocked, how do retailers guide you to find it and buy it? How does SAP help with marketing activities?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, especially with the idea of the customer decision journey.
Okay, what's that?
It's typically seen in stages. Starts with awareness, just knowing something exists.
Yeah.
Then moves to interest or consideration. Then active research, comparing options, leads eventually to purchase or conversion. And hopefully continues to base of loyalty, and maybe even advocacy, where you tell your friends.
Right, the whole life cycle.
Exactly. Retailers need to map out how customers move through those stages and then support them with really tailored marketing activities across online and offline touchpoints. The goal isn't just the sale, it's building a relationship by adapting to how that customer actually shops.
And to help retailers with that complex journey, the document has this great framework, the ALive Retail Strategy Checklist. Can you break ALive down for us?
Absolutely. ALive is a really useful acronym for 5 key retail tactics.
Okay.
A is for availability, making sure the right products were always accessible through the right channels, stores in the right place, and crucially at the right time. L is for linkage. This is about your unique selling proposition, your USP, and your unique value proposition, UVP. What makes you different and valuable?
Well,
I is for inspiration. Things like category management, space planning, making the shopping experience not just functional, but actually appealing, maybe even inspiring.
V
is for value for money, looking at everything from the supply chain efficiency to promotions, loyalty cards, ensuring customers feel they're getting good value.
And E?
And finally, ease for experience. This can range, from super simple and convenient to an experience with lots of added value, like free shipping, amazing customer service.
That framework makes so much sense. It really highlights that different customers want different things, doesn't it? So a one-size-fits-all strategy just isn't going to work.
Precisely. Some shoppers might just want speed, low expectations. Others might anticipate this highly personalized, white glove service kind of journey.
Right.
So retailers absolutely have to consider these different needs and tweak their strategies. Aim for those really tailored shopping experiences.
Okay, shifting gears slightly again. Let's talk about legless digital engagement. That's an interesting phrase. What does that actually mean? What problem does it solve?
It is a great phrase. And it refers to how these enterprise foundation services are starting to fix that classic omnichannel silo problem.
Ah, the disconnected channels.
Exactly. Historically, your online channel, your store channel, your mobile app, they often worked like separate legs of the business. Kind of clunky for the customer.
Yeah, you start something online, the store has no idea.
Right. Legless digital engagement means creating a seamless digital experience that isn't tied to one specific leg or channel. It's truly unified across all the touch points.
Okay.
So your interaction feels consistent whether you're on your phone, in the store, or on your laptop. It's about hiding all that underlying complexity from you, the customer.
Right, making it just work. So let's look at a real-world case to see how these strategic choices actually play out. The document mentions a specific C-store implementation. What were some of their key decisions? What can we learn?
Yeah, the C-store example is interesting. They made some very specific, deliberate choices. They went for a multi-vendor approach, not a single big strategic partner.
Okay.
They chose outsourced solutions over building everything themselves. They lean towards decentralized systems, not centrally managed ones. Prioritize short-term fixes for faster results over maybe longer-term, more integrated changes.
Tactical versus strategic sometimes.
Kind of, yeah. And they valued modularity over raw performance and flexibility over maybe simplicity.
What did their tech stack look like then?
It was a mix. SAP ERP for retail at the core, Adobe Experience Cloud for customer stuff, Fiori apps, a new Toshiba POS system, RELX for forecasting and replenishment, replacing an older system called Gains, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and an enterprise data platform tying things together.
Wow, that's a lot of different pieces.
It is. The key takeaway, I think, is that there's no single right way. It's about aligning your tech decisions with your specific business goals, even if they seem more tactical in the short term.
And there's that intriguing detail about why they specifically chose not to implement something called SAP Air to replace their existing SAP POS DM.
Yeah.
What was the logic there? What does that tell us?
Yeah, that's fascinating, because it really came down to, well, money. Pragmatic finances.
Oh?
They had negotiated a pretty good commercial deal on their existing SAP POS DM license, which they couldn't just transfer over to SAP Carib.
Okay.
Plus, the Carib license is based on revenue. And for a C-store, a lot of revenue comes from fuel, which apparently isn't included in the Carib license calculation. So migrating would have effectively doubled their license cost.
Ouch.
Yeah. So for them, it just wasn't financially viable at that point. They ended up negotiating extended maintenance for the old system instead. It really shows how real-world business constraints like licensing models or existing deals can sometimes trump purely technical advantages.
That's a perfect example of business strategy driving tech adoption or lack thereof. So let's talk about SAP CAR itself then, Customer Activity Repository. What exactly is it, and why is it supposed to be so important for that omnichannel retail we keep mentioning?
Right. SAP CAR is basically designed to be the central nervous system for all your retail transaction data.
The brain.
Kind of, yeah. It's the foundational layer that pulls together sales data, which is often scattered across loads of different siloed applications, specifically to support omnichannel sales.
Okay.
It uses SAP HANA's real-time computing power to crunch data from stores, e-commerce, everything, almost instantly. This allows for things like real-time inventory checks.
Ah, crucial.
Hugely. It was developed to overcome the limits of older systems, giving retailers near real-time access to really granular sales data and supporting planning and execution across the whole network. The big idea is centralizing data to get that single accurate view of what customers are actually doing.
Got it. So it's the hub for all the transactional stuff. What kinds of, actionable capabilities does it give retailers?
CR provides a whole suite of powerful tools. It offers that omnichannel inventory availability, knowing exactly what's in stock where right now.
Okay.
It supports retail planning, assortment management, allocation, deciding which stores get which stock. Store replenishment, it helps manage promotions, and it even powers a borrowing. Available to promise, ATP.
What's ATP?
Available to promise. It means a retailer can confidently tell a customer, yes, we have that item and can get it to you by Tuesday, knowing it's genuinely available somewhere on their network. Leads to better order fulfillment, happier customers.
Okay, that sounds powerful. But despite all that, the C-store we talked about still had challenges with Kara, right? It sounds like their earlier tactical decisions kind of backfired a bit.
They absolutely did have ripple effects. Because of those earlier choices prioritizing modularity, short-term gains, the full potential value of SAP CAR was maybe diminished for them in certain areas.
How so?
Well, for example, its POS data transfer and audit function, POS DTA, wasn't heavily used because they had other solutions. Their forecasting and replenishment, that moved to RILX.
Right.
Their unified demand forecast, UDF, was handled by Games, then RILX. Promotion pricing, OPP. Largely manual or done elsewhere. And that critical inventory visibility, OAA, handled via a custom dashboard, not Dr. built-in module. It really illustrates that even powerful integrated platforms like PsychoR need to fit into a coherent long-term strategy to deliver fully. Otherwise, you can end up with fragmented capabilities, kind of defeating the purpose.
That's a really crucial point. Let's dig into promotions and pricing a bit more. Super critical for retailers. How do SAP systems help manage those complex processes?
Okay, so there's SAP Promotion Management, which is built on CAR. That's used to create and manage all sorts of promotional offers.
Like buy one, get one free.
Exactly.
Okay.
You could define offers by type percentage off, amount off, BOGO, by tactic, like is it in a flyer, an in-store display, and by incentives, coupons, loyalty points.
Okay.
These offers can then be easily pushed out for digital marketing and for price activation across all the different channels.
And then there's OPP.
Right. SAP Omnichannel Promotion Pricing, OPP. This acts as a central price and promotion library within SAP TOIR. Its main job is ensuring correct and consistent sales prices everywhere, all sales channels, with hopefully low implementation effort. It pulls together regular prices and promotional offers into a standard format. So a price is a price, no matter where the customer encounters it.
And we're seeing a lot more dynamic pricing now, too, aren't we? Prices changing almost on the fly.
Absolutely. The source document highlights trends, like tailored fuel pricing, maybe store by store, or different prices in metro versus regional areas reacting to local competition or demand.
Right.
Clustered pricing is another one, grouping stores with similar characteristics for specific pricing strategies. And then you have the complexity of membership pricing for loyalty programs or pay with points.
Yeah, that must get complicated.
Especially when you think about the balance sheet impact or how those benefits are shared across, say, a network of franchisees. It's all about optimizing prices for profit, but still giving customers that feeling of value.
So with all these complex prices flying around, how do retailers make sure the products are actually on the shelf? How do they prevent those really frustrating out-of-stock moments?
Yeah, that's huge. Automating inventory management is key, and the doc mentions Coop Denmark and Coop Nord having success there. But specifically for on-shelf availability, OSA, SAP CAR, provides really valuable insights. It looks at past out-of-shelf situations, helps identify patterns, and it can offer real-time alerts about potential future issues. It kind of works in two ways.
Okay.
Analytically, it helps identify hotspots, recurring problems. Maybe you need to optimize delivery cycles, or change pack sizes, or fix shelf capacity, or even adjust staffing.
Right, the strategic view.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then operatively, it enables store employees to react quickly to alerts, go refill a shelf, or correct an inventory error right away. The core idea is moving from just reacting to problems to proactively preventing them.
And how does that OSA algorithm actually figure out something might be out of stock without someone physically checking every single shelf all the time? That sounds pretty clever.
It is quite clever. It works by analyzing sales transaction intervals.
Gaps between sales.
Exactly. It looks at the length of time between two sales of the same product. If those gaps suddenly get unusually long compared to historical patterns, or if sales just drop off cliff.
It flags it.
Yeah, it indicates a potential on-shelf availability problem. Maybe the shelf is empty, maybe the tag is wrong. It's a smart way to detect issues without needing constant physical checks. Gives retailers an early warning.
Okay, that's smart. Now, beyond inventory, software quality assurance is another huge piece of this whole complex puzzle, right? Teams need to ship fast but without bugs, and test cheaply but effectively. How are retailers tackling QA in these massive tech systems?
It's a major balancing act for sure. The source mentions companies like QA Wolf, which offers a full-service approach for medium to large product teams. Their whole goal is speeding up QA cycles and cutting costs for regression testing, making sure new stuff doesn't break old stuff.
Yeah, that's critical.
And another key thing is the partnership between Tricentis and SAP, focused on accelerating SAP cloud adoption. Tools like Tricentis Tosca and Tricentis Test Automation for SAP, they provide really robust testing across interfaces, GUIs, APIs, mobile. They even have features for test data management and, importantly, data integrity. The key takeaway is that solid automated testing is absolutely essential if you want agility and reliability in these complex retail environments.
Yeah.
Can't really have one without the other.
And you mentioned data integrity. That seems massive in retail with data coming from POS, supply chain, everywhere. How does something like Tricentis help ensure that data quality?
Right. Tricentis data integrity focuses on several key test types. Think of it like layers of verification.
Okay.
Pre-screening tests check data before it even gets into a system. Vital checks and field tests look at completeness and correctness within data tables. Reconciliation tests compare data sets between different systems to make sure they match up, super important for finance or inventory.
Yeah, definitely.
Report testing checks the actual business reports for accuracy. And profiling validates data from a business logic perspective. Does make sense. It's all about building trust in your data every step of the way.
So quality isn't just does the button work, it's fundamentally about the underlying data being right. Which also brings us to something called non-functional requirements, or NFRs. Why are these so critical for system architecture? Why should a retailer, or even us as customers, care if a system is, say, modifiable or resilient?
NFRs are absolutely foundational.
Right.
They define how well a system performs, not just what does functionally.
Oh, okay.
They determine if an application will actually deliver that seamless experience, especially during busy times like Black Friday. For a customer, it means the website is fast and doesn't crash, or that their payment data is secure.
Right.
For the retailer, it means the system can handle growth at scalability. It can be updated easily without breaking everything modifiability, or it recovers quickly if something goes wrong. Resilience. Reliability, for instance, breaks down into even more factors like correctness, coverage, data freshness, latency, how fast it responds.
Okay.
Resilience, again, throughput, how much it can handle.
Right.
Architects obsess over these because they dictate the system's robustness and whether it will actually meet real-world business demands under pressure.
That makes total sense. It's about the experience and the business just being able to operate reliably. Now, SAP has its own vision for an intelligent enterprise, defined by 7 key suite qualities. What are they aiming for with these?
Yeah, these 7 qualities are essentially SAP's blueprint for how they see a truly intelligent enterprise working.
Okay.
They envision a seamless user experience, so it feels consistent across different apps, consistent security and identity management, easy and safe access, one single workflow inbox, streamlining tasks for users, aligned domain models and integration content, so data basically speaks the same language everywhere.
That sounds important.
It is. Then, embedded and cross-product analytics for holistic insights, coordinated lifecycle management, making updates and maintenance easier, and finally, end-to-end process blueprints for efficiency.
So in essence, they want a cohesive, intuitive, efficient system where everything just works together smoothly for the user.
That's the core idea, yeah, making the complex feel simple and integrated.
And to make all these different systems, old, new, on-premise, cloud, actually talk to each other, you need really strong integration platforms. The document mentions pace-layered architecture and the big shift towards API-based integration. Can you simplify those concepts?
Sure. Pace-layered architecture.
Yeah.
Think of it like renovating a house. You don't necessarily rip out the deep plumbing and electrical, your core systems of record, like your main ERP, at the same fast pace as you redecorate the living room, your systems of innovation, maybe a new customer-facing app.
Okay, different speeds for different layers.
Exactly. This framework lets different parts of your IT landscape evolve at different speeds. You can make faster, more agile changes where they matter most, like customer experience, without constantly disrupting the fundamental, slower-moving core operations.
Got it. And API-based integration.
That's like moving away from building custom, often clunky point-to-point connections between every single system.
The old spaghetti diagrams.
Right. Towards using standardized modular building blocks, APIs, application programming interfaces. This includes headless approaches, where the front-end user interface is decoupled from the back-end systems, gives you much more flexibility in designing customer experiences.
Okay.
And an API-first strategy emphasizes that your business strategy should drive how you use APIs and cloud tech, not just adopting tech for tech's sake. Solutions like Salesforce, MuleSoft, Catalyst Accelerator for retail kind of embody this, providing pre-built API connections to speed things up.
And what about SAP's own approach, the Digital Integration Hub, DIH, using their business technology platform, BTP? How does that fit in?
The DIH is specifically designed for high-throughput, low-latency API services. Think of it as a high-speed data interchange for your retail operations.
Okay.
A key goal is protecting those crucial back-end systems by decoupling data sources, often using in-memory layers for speed. It leverages SAP AI as that high-performance data store, with cloud integration keeping data synchronized. Things like open connectors make it easier to plug into hundreds of third-party cloud apps. SAP Event Mesh acts as an event broker for loosely coupled integration systems can react to events without being tightly linked. And API management is what exposes those fast front-end API services for quick responses in apps or websites.
So it's a pretty comprehensive toolkit for connecting everything from deep back office systems right up to the customer-facing apps.
That's the idea.
And the document mentions lots of common integration patterns used across the industry, peer-to-peer, API gateway, pub-sub, plus cloud-specific ones. This is clearly a complex world, but these patterns are like the standard ways data moves around.
Exactly. Patterns like request response, event sourcing, ETL, orchestration, these are the fundamental blueprints for how data flows and systems interact reliably. They bring order to the complexity.
Right.
And cloud-specific patterns like asynchronous request reply or priority queues, they address the unique challenges you get in distributed cloud systems, making sure critical messages get through even when things are busy or systems are temporarily unavailable.
Okay, let's shift to the absolute cutting edge now. Digital transformation happening right in the store. It sounds like innovation at the edge is really picking up speed. What does this mean for the physical shopping experience?
It definitely is accelerating. It's not enough anymore for retailers just to have a decent website. The next big wave is about powering genuinely innovative in-store experiences.
Like what?
Things like advanced store safety systems, maybe automated facilities, maintenance alerts, highly personalized services delivered right there, real-time inventory tracking on the shelf, dynamic digital signs, electronic price tags that update instantly, and really advanced self-checkout or even fully automated checkout systems. All these capabilities demand more and more digital smarts right there in the physical space. The store itself is becoming a tech hub.
And it sounds like local processing, having AI and analytics run in the store, is critical for this. Why is doing that processing at the edge in the stores so important? Why not just send everything to the cloud?
Good question. Local processing at the edge is crucial for a few key reasons. First, real-time interaction. Think instant price updates as you walk by, or immediate personalized offers. You can't have cloud latency for that.
Makes sense.
Second, it massively reduces the overhead and potential privacy concerns of constantly sending huge amounts of data, especially video or sensor data, back and forth to the cloud.
Right.
And third, critically, it enables business continuity if the network connection goes down. Your POS terminals still work, your smart cameras can still analyze locally. In-store compute resources are vital for a modern, resilient store that doesn't just die of the internet hiccups.
So the industry needs some kind of common framework to make all this edge stuff work together. The document mentions EdgeX Foundry from the Linux Foundation. What is that? What problem is it trying to solve?
Right, EdgeX Foundry is an open source framework. Think of it as a universal translator or a two-way transformation engine that sits right there at the store level at the edge.
Okay.
It's designed to understand data coming from hundreds of different types of edge devices. Could be digital signs, sensors, cameras, POS terminals, whatever. It translates that data into a standard format that cloud platforms or enterprise applications can understand.
And the other way, too.
And the other way, too, exactly. Pushing commands and data from the cloud or enterprise systems back down to the edge devices for real-time control and updates. It tackles the huge problem of device fragmentation and vendor lock-in, letting retailers mix and match different in-store technologies more easily.
Okay, so what are the key features and benefits for a retailer using something like EdgeX?
Key features. Well, it's open source, which is big. It uses a microservices, event-driven architecture, so it's flexible. It's cloud agnostic, works with any cloud. Highly extensible. It supports data pipelines, real-time IoT event processing.
And the benefits?
The benefits are pretty significant. Retailers get ownership of their own IoT data. It offers massive scalability right there at the edge, enables much higher levels of automation in the store, faster deployment of new tech. And because it's open source and collaborative, it can be more cost competitive than proprietary systems. It's really about making that in-store experience truly smart and responsive without getting locked into one vendor's ecosystem.
That makes a lot of sense, building on open standards for flexibility. And the document mentions Aura, the Open Retail Reference Architecture, builds on EdgeX. What does its definition of done tell us about its approach? It sounds very practical.
It is very practical. Aura's definition of done is simply, can the defined architecture actually be built and booted on a target system?
Does it actually work?
Exactly. It emphasizes functional, deployable implementation, not just pretty diagrams or theories. It really shows the industry's focus on getting tangible, working solutions out there at the edge, making sure these innovations can actually come to life in real stores.
Well, we have truly taken a deep dive today,
Yeah,
right into the complex, interconnected world of modern retail tech, using that SAP reference architecture as our guide.
we covered a lot of ground.
We really did. From the big strategic questions retailers are grappling with, down to the nitty-gritty systems managing supply chains, promotions, the in-store experience, data quality. It's just so clear that those simple-seeming retail interactions, they're underpinned by incredibly sophisticated technology.
Yeah, and understanding how these systems connect, how they integrate, how data flows, the strategic thinking behind why they're implemented certain ways, it really does give you a powerful shortcut.
Yeah.
Helps you get informed about where retail is heading, way beyond just knowing the buzzwords.
Yeah.
It's about grasping the core capabilities that are driving innovation and making those seamless experiences actually possible.
So, thinking about all this, as technology keeps redefining what's possible right at the edge, right there in the store aisle, what do you think the next truly unexpected aha moment might be? Either for us as customers or maybe for the retailers themselves, powered by all this ongoing digital evolution.